students, welcome back to this very special live episode of Masterclass right here on the Masters of Wrestling. Today we got a special guest joining us. She's a little bit late right now. Paige Collett from JCW, better known as the Ring Rat or Black Dahlia. But until then, I am the Master Amir along with my two co-stars. First at the top of the screen, my co-star on Masterclass, the original himself, the Canadian, the man from the Great White North. Further north than the WWF headquarters, he is the Bodacious Suave, Matthew Jacobs.
Look at that intro, eh, pal? Thanks a lot.
Exactly, Robert. Of course. A-star treatment, my brother.
Not bad. Oh, look at it. It's terrible. It's terrible. No muscle fibers, no nothing.
Terrible. It'll come back. It'll come back. And at the bottom of the screen, another one of your pro wrestling expert journalists today. He is my co-star on our brand new podcast here on the Masters of Wrestling, the Master Fix, ladies and gentlemen, former NXT Tag Team Champion, the Fixer, Martin Stone.
How are you doing, gentlemen?
I'm doing fantastic. What about you, Bodacious One?
A little hungry, don't forget, we're on Eastern time zone here, so it's our supper time here. So sorry, I don't mean to munch in your ear, but life's pretty good.
It is pretty good. I tell you what, it's pretty good for you. It's pretty good for you, Martin. It's pretty good for me. What it's not pretty good for is the WWE fans. Until we wait for Miss Collett to come in, we can't help but overlook the dark shadow that has crept into the WWE that, in fact, came out of a darn box. Of course, I'm talking about the man himself, Dickhausen. Or is it Dickhausen? Or what's his name?
You nailed it, Amir.
Okay.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good pronunciation.
Yeah. Perfect.
Dickhausen. So, Matthew, first of all, I'm going to give you a little bit of credit here because you called it yesterday, my man. You said that this was all a ploy just to sell merchandise. Matthew, you were correct.
Well, I mean, I've been around the business, Come on, I know what I'm doing around here. It's not hard.
Yeah.
It's the same formula since I've been alive at 38 years old. I mean,
yeah,
no secret. But I don't know. Let's talk about it, boys. We're three brainiacs here. We can go off.
We'll talk about it because, Martin, I tell you what, when it happened, of course, I was infuriated by this little jobber appearing, this little pipsqueak, wet rag coming down the aisle there. But, Martin, you got pretty darn heated when this happened,
Yes.
Did you not?
What I couldn't believe was just the sheer lack of care for people that are spending 8 to 10 grand on a ticket.
Yeah.
Like, in any possible world, could they not think he was going to get that type of reaction he did with everything that's gone on, and all the rumors about it being Jericho and this and that? Like, that's what you find as your answer. I mean, yeah. I mean, hey, it obviously pays to be friends with corporate man Phil.
Yeah.
But and again, I worked him before he was the Danhausen character, and he was awful. He was horrible in ring. It wasn't much better as Danhausen in ring. That's obviously not why he's been booked. But to have that massive angle that was built up for that long, and it's like, yeah, I've got this awesome idea, Danhausen. So part of me feels that they've set him up to fail already. And again, he could be there for a month, sell some T-shirts because that's all he's going to do. He'll sell some T-shirts, and I hope I'm proven wrong. I'm proven wrong, and I hope he's there for a long time and he does something really cool and makes wrestling interesting again. But I can't see it. I was going to
say, oh, go ahead, Matthew.
Well, I was going to say, because Martin's too nice, so I feel like I need the heel Master Amir to come in and wipe this out.
Oh, I will. I'll wipe him out entirely. Like I said, we do have our special guest going to be joining us here. She has come into the screen, so I will be bringing her in. But just to close this out, I think you are being a little bit too nice, Martin, on Danhausen.
I can liken Danhausen to a Scottish wrestler called Grado, right?
Okay.
Not the greatest guy in ring, but he was over.
Yeah.
Like, to the point people would sing his song to the ring. Like, he was over. And he was a genuine star. He's now doing Scottish TV and stuff like that. Like, he is now a bona fide celebrity.
Yeah.
So let's bring that in. Perfect. You ain't got that in Danhausen. Not one bit.
Bottom line, before I bring in our guest here from JCW, of course, what I deem the leader in sports entertainment right now in the wrestling world, I'm just going to put the final nail in the coffin. That's what needs to happen with Danhausen. He needs to go back in that coffin. Someone needs to nail it shut, and that's the last I want to hear from him. But anyway, that's the last I want to talk.
As well on his way out.
Yeah, I want him to dance on his way out. We'll be dancing with victory that he's gone. But nonetheless, here we go with our special guest on the screen, Paige Collett from JCW. You know her there as the Ring Rat. Here she is, the Black Dahlia. We're going to bring her up on the screen. Hey, Paige, how you doing?
Hello, guys. Hey.
Hello. Hey, nice to have you on the show,
Paige. My tripod's situated.
You got it? Okay.
I think so. Today, I'm blind. I can't tell how that looks.
Looks fine.
It's good. We've already got the chat blowing up here, Paige, about JCW, because we got nothing but good things to say about JCW. In my opinion, the last sports entertainment wrestling brand on the planet. So, and you've got the blessing to be there. I mean, what a success story this is for you.
Yeah, it's such a blessing to be there. I prayed for that. Like, as lame as that is, like some people are like, oh, it's just like another promotion, or other people might. Some people look at it as cool as it really is. It truly is, but others will just look at it and be like, scoff at it because it's not WWE or something like that. So I genuinely did pray for this, and I wanted this so badly. I had my eyes on it this time last year, and I truly wanted it, and to be able to finally get signed and be brought on and be a part of the show, it truly is a blessing.
Yeah, I was going to say it is a blessing. You know, of course, Martin and I and Matthew and I, you know, we're following the product. Vince Russo is doing amazing things with it. You've got a great storyline there. So obviously, were you drawn to the more sports entertainment aspect of wrestling as a youth?
Well, yeah. So I didn't have the cliche upbringing of I was a wrestling fan in diapers. It was the complete opposite. I was into ballet. I was into all the different dance, tap, jazz, gymnastics, and I was in show choir. And so entertainment was definitely my upbringing, let alone athleticism, where I did volleyball, softball, basketball since the age of 5 and beyond. So like sports was something that was always a part of me. Entertainment was always something a part of me. And then when I got a job as a valet, I didn't even know what that meant. I thought it meant a person parking vehicles. Like that's how ignorant I was to the business. Like imagine being just a young green kid and approached for a spot as a valet, and you think this bitch is going to have you out parking vehicles all night. Like it made no sense to me. I was like, okay, but no. Then I was given the Iggy, but about 2 years in, I fell in love with the business, and I was like, no, I want to do this as a career. I want to do this as a living, and if you want to do anything, you go to school for it. So that's where my like story began, is with wrestling school.
Yeah, we're going to get into that. Obviously, you know, following a passion. Of course, Martin, you see him across the screen there, former NXT Tag Team Champion. Obviously, he made the trek from England all the way over here to the United States and stuff like that. But Martin, let's kick it down to you to get things started with Paige, with her early life and breaking into the business, my man.
Yeah, okay. So the cliche question, what wrestling school did you train with? Who, you know, I know you said you weren't a wrestling fan, but as you started going to wrestling school and stuff, there must have been people that you started watching and picking up on and stuff like that.
For sure. It's just going to be kind of contradictory because I'm a mark for two different things. It's the flashy show style, like a macho man, but then also I like the technical style, the technical grappling, Southern style wrestling. So when I fell in love with wrestling, it was, of course, for the gimmicks. It was just the principle of the art of telling a story. So I was just like, holy shit, I can do this with my body, and I can get a raw reaction from a crowd, because with my theater background, the audience is more quiet, and they're not allowed to break that, what is it, third, fourth wall, like they're not allowed to break that and interact with you. So when getting involved with wrestling, it was very oh, what is this? It's like, excuse me, I'm performing here, and so it was different for me. But then when I was like, ha ha, and I fell in love with it, it was because I could get that reaction of the crowd.
Yeah.
So the only thing that made sense was to go to wrestling school, and I was like, okay, well, I don't want to be the shits. I don't want to be just the gimmick. I know I can be the gimmick. I know I can oversell like a Shawn Michaels. I know I can do this, but I also want to know how to wrestle and not hurt myself or hurt someone else. So that's when the technical style comes in. And when I researched schools, like Funaki was the first thing, no brainer, like a Japanese style wrestling. So I was blessed enough to be able to go and train under Funaki for 7 solid months down in San Antonio.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
but now
He's
for the
really
past
cool, Funaki.
yeah, he's such a good guy,
Yeah,
funny, and
he's
also
really
he's a
cool.
Star Wars mark. So I literally, I seriously used to masturbate to Star Wars growing up. Like that was my jam. I love that shit so much. So to have my coach like be a wrestler or a Star Wars mark, I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Like Funaki, he had the craziest story he would tell us kids. Like when he was with WWE, he had like the green kids had to cater to him because he was this superstar, right?
Yep.
And one of the green kids had to take him to the one thing he wanted to see was Star Wars. So this green kid in WWE had to just keep on taking him to see Star Wars. And by the 5th time they saw Star Wars, like the kid wasn't complaining, and that kid turned out to be John Cena.
Oh,
So
wow.
like
Yeah.
so these like cool stories from like I love picking my brain with my coaches and like getting
Yeah,
these
that's
little
awesome.
insights, but because we bonded on Star Wars, I got to hear that cool story. But anyway, Funaki he was like renting out the Spartan gym, and in San Antonio, it doesn't matter what season it is, it's hot. And then there's super hot, and then hot again. Like that's the changing of the seasons down there. So
It's like Florida,
we
yeah.
were it was just horrible desert heat. Like you didn't realize like you were sweating and it was already evaporating because you were sweating too much, So in that Spartan gym there was no air conditioning or anything, and we would have to lift up the garage door, like the wall next to the ring was this big fucking garage door, and that's how I like fucking learned how to wrestle. It was just like right there with Funaki with the students down in San Antonio, and I did that for a good part of under a year. And then that's when I got scouted by Rikishi and ended up going to LA and living out in Los Angeles and training under him.
Wow, that's quite a journey. That's good to be
awesome.
scouted by a legend like that.
Yeah.
One of the things I do like here in this conversation, because Matthew, Martin, we always talk about this. Well, at least I'm very vocal, Paige. I don't care what I say. But at the end of the day, I always say it's better to be trained by someone who's been there, done it, and got the T-shirt rather than some wannabe who's just going to teach you poor habits. That's one of the
For
things
sure.
I do not like, so
There's a lot of people that I just traveling on the indies and just being around all the different walks of life, every different level, people coming and going, and I've noticed a lot of people don't get trained, and their bullshit is they're just super big fans, and then they go and play what they've seen on TV since they were kids, and it's like I feel like that's unprofessional. And then there's some people that claim, yeah, they were trained by this person, this person, this person, but really all it is they show up on indie shows early and roll around in the ring with the boys like an hour before the gate opens, and that's their training. So I legitimately wanted to make a career out of this. I legitimately wanted to be as safe as possible, as professional as possible, and as good as possible, so I can make money, buy a house, buy a vehicle. So it only made sense to pick the right people to train you and people that know what they're talking about. And it's exactly what you just said. Why would I want a Joe Schmo, like just nobody like train me, as opposed to someone who actually has accomplished what I just said, bought a house, bought a vehicle, made a living. Like it's a no-brainer to go to people that are the master Jedis when you're just an apprentice,
Yeah, I agree with you. Matthew, I'm going to kick it over to you because I got some questions that I've got racking up in my brain right now. But Matthew, you got any questions here for?
Yeah, I'm just gonna start. I'm just curious because you're so well spoken. How much experience do you have?
Sorry?
How much experience do you have since training? When did you begin your training session with Funaki? What year?
Oh, thanks. Let's see. So I'm older than I look. So that little bit backstory, I spent almost 4 years on the indies dicking around, like I said, paying your dues, like, oh, we get paid for this. For 4 years, I was that valet, that 18-year-old little kid tearing up and setting up rings, not knowing we got paid for it, letting promoters take photos of me and then sell them at shows and never seeing a dime of it. You know, I did that rough carny bullshit on the indies for 4 years. And then I roughly just under 2 years, if you combined the Funaki training and then out in LA, because when I was out at Rikishi's, I was sleeping out of my vehicle. You know, like when I went and Rikishi's like, hey, we want you out here. I packed my suitcase and literally drove to LA and my shoot job so I could pay for school because wrestling school is expensive, you know. I don't come from money. I don't my family thought wrestling was trash. So they did not support me at all. I was 100% homeless from the age of 18 until now, like until my wrestling accident. So my time frame was 4 years on the indies, 2 years of training, and then I got put in the wheelchair. But during my sacrifice in LA, I I never missed a day of our shows, our because like when you're at these schools, you have to sign contracts. You're not allowed to go work the indies. You have to work only their shows. You only get to wrestle for them or who they say you're allowed to wrestle for.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
So
true, Mark. Yeah.
Yeah.
these are really, really poor words, but they're grooming you for WWE or they're grooming you for what product they want you for. So that's the mindset I was at in wrestling for. And then I got put in a wheelchair. So I've been out. This April makes 9 years. So just as many years as I was grinding, paying my dues, and working, I've been out just as long. So now that I'm back in the business and even though like it's hard to say, oh, I've been in the business for 15 years, and it's like, what do I have to show for it? Because I've been out
Yeah,
for
no, I get that.
nine. It's not fair. So I hope I answered your question correctly.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
I just want to say on my part, you paid your dues and you've seen the carny bullshit. So I don't think that's
Yeah.
going to fly with you anymore moving forward, right? As opposed to me, example, I'll walk in the show, I'll be like, oh, sure, yeah, okay. Meanwhile, the promoter's
that's so
screwing
funny.
me left and right.
I mean, that's the part of the business, no matter what level you're at, and it's just different levels of that carny bullshit. And you just have to learn how to play healthy politics. You just be the best person you can be, and you ride that off into the sunset. You know what I'm saying? Like it will never change. But but definitely paying your dues. I don't think everyone should have that cliche story. Like the more mature I get, the older I get, and the more I'm like, oh shit, my body might be able to be healthy enough to wrestle. Oh, this could be an actual thing. I could actually put a beautiful bow tie to this crazy, insane story. So say I get to that level and I actually have a beautiful career, people are going to look back at my sacrifice and it's going to be as cringe as it is. It's going to be those cliche wrestling stories that you hear about, the toothpaste on bread. It's like, how bad do you want it, kid? You know, the tuna cans in the vehicle. Like, how bad do you want it? I am that story. I worked at Walmart. My family turned on me and said, wrestling's trash and now you're trash. I was homeless at 18. I had to work at a Walmart to pay for wrestling schools and if I got to eat. I remember you got paid more for night shifts, so I worked night shift. I was the only female unloading those semi trucks, and I did the physical job just to go to wrestling school and then wash my body at a Planet Fitness. And then after that, I would have to sleep in my vehicle in the daytime. Well, hello, there's no air conditioning. I'm a poor kid. My vehicle's trash. So sleeping in the daytime with no air conditioning, almost impossible. And then you got to get up and go and weight train, wrestling school, Walmart again. Like I grinded, I paid my dues. And then wrestling doesn't owe you anything, but to be put in a wheelchair and not even able to go and try to have a career, it was devastating for sure.
We'll get into that a little bit here. One of the things that struck me, obviously, you're here in the company of three men who have our faith. I got my faith in Jesus Christ. So you talked about praying and that. How do you find this helped you spiritually? Because that is a sacrifice and a half, which you went through. So did it build you? Did it build a faith in you? Do you have faith of any sort? I mean, is that something that drives you?
I was brought up really religious, and I've publicly spoke about it, so I am comfortable to speak about it now. But it's going to be all in my book. But for the longest time, I was going to be a nun, and religion was a very, very serious thing to me. I believed I was going to be God's, a bride to God, a wife to God. I believed that my body served a different purpose, and so religion was definitely something that was a no brainer for me. As corny and as cringe as it sounds, I believed my body was not for man, but for God. And I believed that my purpose on earth was just to help people.
Yeah.
And I looked into the Red Cross and different things like that. I looked into different missionary work and things I could get involved in. And that's when you could call it divine intervention or whatever, because mind you, I would like I just to circle back around, I was not that kid in diapers watching Monday Night Raw. You know,
Mm.
I wasn't that kid that grew up watching all the different wrestling and playing wrestling with my cousins on the trampoline. I didn't have that story. I was brought up with watching Phantom of the Opera and silent
Yeah.
films, and I had a very different upbringing. And then to get scouted because of my modeling and acting background to be a manager on the indies, to fall in love with that business, it was I feel like that was just fate, destiny, or God. And I
Mhm.
can only look at it that way because there was no other. I wasn't in love with wrestling when I got involved. I
Mhm.
wasn't. Um in a sense, turning away from the church into wrestling, it was always painted that way, even though that was not the choice. Becoming a wrestler instead of giving my body to God, was I gave my body to the ring.
Mhm.
And there was controversial things said to me when I was put in the wheelchair, saying that, well, that was God punishing you
Mhm.
because you gave your body to man, you gave your body to a wrestling ring. So I've had a very traumatic story, and so in that time I was like, oh yeah, this is God punishing me for
Oh,
sure.
wow.
Like I had a really odd relationship with God, from wanting to be his wife to wanting to not believe he even existed. I did not believe God existed. It went from one extreme to another, and 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 during my loneliness in that wheelchair, I did find God again, and he was there the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And and religion definitely is a huge factor in my story, let alone just yeah, it definitely, religion is important to me for sure.
I was going to say it's refreshing to hear, but I asked the same question to Ted DiBiase because I got to meet him 2 years ago, and the first thing I said to him, because me as a believer, I was like, "How can I dip my toes back into this wrestling world? I don't understand it, Ted." He said, "Well, you don't know where God's leading you, and you don't know what impact you're going to make. He puts people in various fields for various reasons." And
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be in your character; it can be in how you conduct yourself with the fans after the show. Right there.
for
Yeah.
sure.
So that's
Yes, like we were performers, and I got typecasted. Yeah, and like different. You take a buff man, put a porn stash on him, have him hip thrust towards the women, make the women scream. Cool, but that we're our performers, But then outside of the performances, it is truly who you are as a human being behind the scenes, and uh, I I don't force my beliefs on people. It's okay to believe in this God or not to believe in God or to worship yourself. Like whatever people's beliefs are, I support 100%, and I would never make them believe what I believe, but you'd be silly not to believe there's something out not there is something out there, and I can't grasp my mind around living in a world to not believe in a creator.
absolutely. I agree 100%. I agree 100%. Martin, are you frozen there, my man? Martin, can you hear us? He's frozen on the screen. We're going to have to bring him back in. Matthew, I'm going to kick it up to you, my man. You've been listening to this. What you
Yeah,
got?
no, I'm so impressed with what you said, and I want to say something to all the listeners that you worked your ass off for this, where a lot of people, and not just wrestling, it comes down to sports. I played baseball all my life and all that, but these kids nowadays, they just feel entitled, right? They don't
Right.
want to put that work in and grind and say what you did. It's like, Well, my mom says I'm the best player on the team, so I don't have to go to practice. Where you really worked your ass off and did things that half of us in life can't even do. The sacrifices.
I don't believe in excuses, and it comes off as narcissistic, but I mean it with the purest heart. I don't believe in excuses or laziness, and we are so much more beyond what ifs. No, just do it. It can be obtainable. Doctors told me I was gonna die. Look, I'm alive. Doctors told me that I was gonna die in that wheelchair, and I'm out of the wheelchair. And like they just do it. You are so much more beyond that, and even if you're I will to anyone that feels entitled, you always have to check your ego at the door. But I feel like if you do not grasp this right now, I pray everyone at some point in their life they'll always grasp this. On the day you die, you could learn something new.
Mm-hmm.
You are never not learning something. You are never. Hi, you missed out on so much.
Sorry about that. My internet just dropped out.
He was about to show us his nipples.
No, I think he was doing something with Star Wars. I think.
Some Star Wars thing.
Listen, we don't kink shame. We don't kink shame. Fuck you, motherfucker. Gosh, like, dude. Like the fucking like lightsabers and shit that didn't fucking get your panties wet. What the fuck?
Darn, man.
Like this, that's like the best thing ever. It's like, oh no, don't force choke me. We don't judge a Star Wars fetish here.
Speaking a bit of humor here again, one of our channel members says, and I can't believe you wrote this. Of course she does, my man.
Yes.
Does Paige know what a ring rat is? Of course, I'm sure you do, Paige. You know what a ring rat is.
I think that people get bored with my answer because, like, even though I try to be silly and funny and quirky, like I just like to have a good time. But I actually study things, and I was a history nerd growing up. And I wasn't like the super smart kid in school. I was a straight A to A B student, you know, like I had to keep my grades up for sports, but I loved studying things. I loved history and stuff like that. So naturally, when I got involved with the sport, I studied the history and I studied different things involved with wrestling. But I'm the true crime person. I love documentaries like that, and then true crime investigations. So I love details. So when it comes to does she know what a ring rat is, 1,000%. And it was well beyond me getting involved with JCW. Being on the indies and growing up with wrestling, I got the old vets and in the locker rooms had stories of the 70s and 80s and 90s, and it's like, you know, well before, you know, I was even alive, they had these crazy stories about these women and what they would do and stuff. And so I actually know real life stories about legitimate ring rats, let alone the history of them. So if you guys want, this is the boring part, the nerd part of me, the uncool part of me, but a ring rat, guys, is so indoctrinated into professional wrestling. It's so much more than just a woman that would have sex with the men or would bounce around and go around and have sex with guys. These women would provide for our boys. As wrestlers, we get paid, but then we needed, it's basically these women would support us. And when you go to that town, you didn't have to pay for a hotel. Sally got her house for you. And guess what? You didn't have to pay for dinner that night because Sally cooked you a full course meal. Like, you know, like say you like marijuana or anything or alcohol, like Sally fucking got that shit for you. So you were good on show days like in Memphis, and then you go to another town and then you got Becky. And so as just cringe and as corny as that is, like they were very vital in the history of wrestling, and they weren't these cringe slutty people that people might depict. Of course there are, but no, there's a beautiful history to the groupies of professional wrestling. And when it comes to JCW and me being casted in this role, I took it beyond just the little history I knew of ring rats. I looked up 80s and 90s hair metal groupies. There's documentaries about these women and what they would do for these rock stars. And I studied that, like method acting, and I brought that to JCW's ring rat. So she's like a unhinged, crazed fan for whoever she sets her eyes on, and I hope that interprets on camera.
Yeah, no, it's a very good breakdown of it. One of the things you said there, and again, we support here on this channel, is what we do, character work. I believe that characters are the key in pro wrestling. Years ago, they were abundant everywhere, but that's something that you prized of. So do you think that, I mean, in your opinion, do you think we need more characters like what you're doing in JCW, like what JCW is doing? Do we need more of that in this
For
game?
sure. Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. Like the exciting part about JCW is, if you guys remember during the Attitude Era, lately everything was hot. Everything, like there was no, like from the curtain jerker to beyond, there was no bathroom breaks. Like every
Everyone had a story.
storyline,
Yep.
everyone had a gimmick. Everyone had a story. Everything was like could have been a main event match in a sense, because you were so invested in these characters, and everything was just like so flowing, and I don't know how to explain it. Just all the different ingredients. I feel like that's what JCW has been doing. So does the whole realm of professional wrestling need that? Yeah, because I feel like it can be so generic sometimes. Like everyone's valid with the different techniques of wrestling. Everyone's valid with their different form of wrestling, whether you're the buff person or the stick figure with breast implants, whether you're the person doing the high flying stuff or the technical work, or whether you're the person that's out there just to do the stink face. There's a purpose and a place for all of us on each different style. But that's the beauty of it. We need these characters. We need that person doing the flippy shit, but then that person doing the porn stash. You know, I feel like that's the beauty of wrestling, is when you go to the circus, when you go to the movies, when you go watch Superman, you want to see all the other different characters as well.
I honestly think in a perfect world. Oh, Matthew, go ahead.
WWE, I hope you're listening, because that's exactly what she said. Something out there for everybody. It's not the same, nonsense.
WWE.
I don't watch it. I don't.
You're not missing anything.
You're not missing anything.
I just where I'm in this stage of my life where I'm just training behind the scenes and really focusing on my health and my body with my disease and stuff. I don't watch TV wrestling unless I need to study something.
Yeah, makes sense. But let's talk about your injury then. So again, for the benefit of those who don't know, Paige, how did you end up in the wheelchair? What led to that?
I ended up developing CRPS. And for those that don't know, CRPS is a neurological disease, and it can happen to it can affect anyone's body at any time. In the scariest cases, you don't have to do anything. You'll just wake up and you'll end up having the disease. But I personally know someone who had this disease activated through a sprained ankle. Wow. I was in a wrestling match out in LA, and I tore my ligaments in my feet, on both of my feet. So I had a more serious injury that needed surgery, but regardless, it activated my disease, and my health condition is permanent, and there's no cure, and it spreads, and it is very much as deadly as it sounds. And mine did not get caught in time, and it ended up spreading to my organs and throughout my arms, and mind you, that started at the bottom of my feet. So my health condition and being abused by the medical community for roughly a decade now, it was very traumatizing. I lost more than a wrestling career, but it's called CRPS, complex regional pain syndrome. There is no known cure. We have hopes of going to, just like anything like cancer, we have hopes of remission, but the disease is permanent. And the most severe cases that I have been, well, let's just use my body as an example. The most severe cases is going blind, death, organ failure. I know when I got diagnosed that even though it's not contagious, I'm not allowed to donate blood or organs now, and I was an organ donor. So that was really traumatizing for me to not be able to save. Like, I think it's the coolest thing ever to be able to save lives when you die. Like, I think that's so poetic, and to have that taken away from me really messed with me. But Yeah. So it's a freak accident. It's a disease, and wrestling activated it. And now I am beyond just a crippled wrestler. You know, I'm beyond a wrestler. I'm beyond an actor. I'm an advocate now, and it's actually my purpose. I feel maybe, perhaps, the reason the full circle moment was I didn't go into the church to become a wrestler. I went into wrestling to become an advocate for a rare disease. Perhaps, like, I'm supposed to. This is my missionary work, and I find such passion in what I do with my advocacy, and I hope to have a foundation one day where we could have a facility with scientists, with doctors, and it just to be able to do research and find cures for rare diseases.
Yeah, no, it sounds very, yeah, again, God bless you for that. You know, I definitely
Oh,
feel
thank you.
that you're going to be able to use it for the betterment of others. Have you ever looked into peptides to perhaps manage some of these symptoms? Because I know there are some peptides my wife's talked about that have regenerative abilities. You know, people that have kidney disease can take peptides and it can actually help the kidneys rejuvenate.
Are they
So,
the shots that you have to take throughout the day?
yeah, yeah.
I've been informed of those, and I'm doing research on them. It's very experimental though. No.
It is experimental, but I do believe, Martin, have you ever looked?
Some have been FDA approved and stuff. So
Yeah, some have been.
Oh, so it really has cancer in it then. It's really gonna. So we'll save the bitch from this, but we're gonna kill the bitch with this.
yeah.
Yeah. It's just
No, I'm fucking with you. I've respectfully have accepted my diagnosis, and I like to think I handled my grieving process well.
Yeah.
I think I did it humbly and with humility and grace. Totally not. I lost my fucking mind for 2 years. For the past 2 years, I totally was crashing and burning. You know that SpongeBob episode where everything's on fire and everyone's screaming? That was me. I totally did not handle my death well. But no, I'm doing. I decided to cut everything and be holistic, and just raw dog this shit, and my body will heal itself. So I accepted I accepted a medical marijuana card. I've been researching all the horrible things in our food, and I'm trying to be as holistic as possible. Because you think about it, you hear about people that are ate up with cancer, like they get diagnosed, they get the death sentence. Oh no, they're gonna die. But then they just fucking fight and become holistic, and next you know, the cancer just purges itself.
yeah.
So I believe in that, and I believe in the faith of God, and I believe I will be cured.
No, yeah, I believe. You know, Matthew at the top of our screen, he just beat cancer. He just went
Fuck
through
yeah!
chemo.
Congratulations!
Go ahead, Matthew. Share your testimony, my man.
No, it's not about me, but yeah, I beat cancer 3 weeks ago. I'm good.
So proud of you.
You're on the show. Let's talk about you. I'm good. I'm alive, and don't worry about me. I'm good.
All right.
I am glad you're here with us. You're a fucking rock star, man.
Damn right I am. I know. I got my good friend here, Brett the Hitman Hart, and all that.
What's that? Big dick energy. His cojones are huge.
There's my holistic stuff I do. So I'm
You made cancer your bitch.
I did. I told it to kiss my ass is what I did. So.
He did exactly that. So, Matthew, I'm going to let you hand the floor for a little bit here.
Oh, no, you guys go. I'm a fan. I'm listening. Please go ahead.
Okay. All right.
I lost my ring light. Oopsies.
Is it? I didn't see a difference there. Still, it looks the same. Martin, have you got any?
Fucking liar!
Yeah,
You're such a worker. You're such a worker. You can't see the difference. It's such a big difference. Look, who is she? A
because we're male.
Professional.
We have no idea about angles or anything.
She's so professional. So unprofessional. No profession. It's dead.
Damn. All right, Martin, kick it down to you, my man.
So, when was the ring rat character brought to you, and who was it brought to you by? Was that strictly a JCW thing, or was that something before that?
1,000% JCW thing, and it was presented to me almost a year before I took it.
Oh wow!
and it was all Violent J, all Boss Man's. It was all his. He loves characters. He's a big fan of wrestling, and he's
Yep.
such a. I mean, he's a wrestler himself, you know. Like I know he, like he says he's not, but he is, you know. But he's one of the boys for sure. But I met him at a signing, and he he's such a good guy, guys. I'm trying to gather my thoughts. He's like, when I met him, he also met the Outbreak, and you know, like the like what I call them the twins, and David. I call him Uncle David. We were all traveling together, ironically enough, me and the Outbreak during that time, and we were doing like Memphis TV at the time, I believe, and when I was doing a meet and greet, the other person doing a signing was Violent J, and he scouted all of us initially that same day, and the originally it was to wrestle, but where my body is too sick to compete, I was like, I can manage. That's what I can do. But would want to. I 1,000% want this. I want this so badly. And the only option really at the time for the story purposes that they were writing, he had this character called the Ring Rat, and he told me that he offered it to another girl, and she got so offended, like another female wrestler, like lost her mind and turned it down. Like I can't imagine having that type of an ego, but a job's a job. But like,
I feel that a lot of people, you are very wise beyond your years. I feel like I'm talking to someone that's been in the business a very, very long time. I've been in this will be 23 years for me in June. So the fact that you understand, like, hey, you don't have to take bumps every night.
Exactly. Yeah. Like
not many people would jump on an opportunity like that if it meant, oh, it means I can't wrestle. It's wrestling. There is something to do in all facets of it, you know.
There's no small role, only small performers, and I never understood that. I'm blessed for the opportunity. I'm blessed to be here. So I was discussing it back in January, back last year, and I ended up getting brought on in the fall. So it was almost a year later, but I feel like it was all about timing, because when I was brought on, Vince Russo was brought on, and I feel like that played a role as well, because like if I was brought on earlier in the year, who's to say the Ring Rat would be what she is now? And I also, with the way that the show is set up, so I feel like it's all about not my timing but God's timing, and I was meant to be brought on to JCW when I was brought on. But I hope I answered that okay.
That's cool.
What's it like working with Vince Russo? Because we praise the man all the time here. I think he's got a tremendous mind for TV because he understands it's sports entertainment. But what's it like? What's a typical, let's just say you're coming on the show next week, right? What's it like working for Vince? What's it like his brainstorming?
Okay. They watch everything that I shit. I just cut that. They're probably watching now. I'm scared.
I'm sure he's watching right now. I'm sure he's
aware. No, I'm fucking with you. He's so freaking legitimately kind, like normal, like how I can talk to you guys, and so. Like showing up on location is chaos, like because we're always have to, like, wherever freaking ICP is going to be, or wherever these venues are, and all these music acts are going to be, let alone JCW, it's like Fort Knox every time we have to get somewhere. So we have to get out of the tour buses and freaking go through security and get wand swiped. It's hilarious seeing Vampiro get wand swiped, man. And he's so pissed, and I film that shit. I film everything. I document my life. And so going through security, getting on set, and then we're of course emailed our scripts, and the scripts are the scripts, but the thing is, once we're through hair and makeup, and then we have to film our vignettes, and then of course go and perform, do the wrestling show, but then we have to tear down because ICP and everyone's going on after, the music goes on after, so the ring has to get out. That's a normal day for us. And then when we're on tour, it's like, okay, we're leaving while the music's going because we got to go and to the next venue is like 7 hours up the road or some shit. So we got to go to the Airbnb. And then do it all over again. But what it's like to just show up on location and the cool thing about him is we're given the blueprint, we're given the script, but we're allowed to just improv. If you guys go and check out, my last two promos, Vince and Jay are right there on set with our vignettes, and they let us just play and explore these characters. So as much as they are a huge part of the Ring Rat, I also have taken it and made it my own. And I want her to be, I don't know. I think I always refer to how Triple H and Shawn Michaels performed back in the Attitude Era. So like perhaps like you guys can see her quirks like that. But she I definitely have made her my own. So then when like in a sense of I improv a lot of what she says, like, I haven't received a dick pic in a minute. Like, you know, like that, or my catchphrases and my rhyme schemes that I come up with. They allow that. They let that happen. They encourage that. So what it's like working with them, freaking amazing. It's like honestly de-stressing. Instead of having like a snooty boss that scares the fuck out of you and is rude, it's completely opposite. It's like a dad. And also where I have a health condition, he always is like, hey, how's your pain? How are you? Like he genuinely actually cares and wants to make sure my health is okay before we even work.
Yeah, that's amazing, you know, because again, you know, he is a great mind. You know, we've been watching it ever since Russo took the helm. And again, I see the improvements each and every week. I see it going in a big direction. I've said it right here. I think by 2027, it's going to be majorly it's going to be out there. It's going to be a top competitor. I think it's going to be.
I feel like it sounds like I'm just stroking my own cock, but it literally JCW is exactly what you just said. If people just hold on to their butts and ride this ride and watch, like there's momentum, it's a wave, and JCW is like going to the fucking moon. I swear, it's wild what's happening.
Well, we've needed it for many years. You know, we've talked about it here on the show many times. You got AEW and WWE that have been stagnant. AEW has been stagnant for years.
Yeah, look at them. They keep on taking our guys.
Yep, they keep stealing their guys and stuff. But there's something different with JCW. There's something different. It's the character work. It's the storylines. It's the fact that Vince produces it like TV. And that's what these other companies are missing. They're producing it like a wrestling match, where he's producing it like TV show. Yes. So he's definitely got to. In terms of acting, though, because you mentioned that as well, do you have any aspirations of going back into that, or are you solely dedicated now to the cause of what you're doing?
Good question. Okay, so my advocacy work is top tier priority, and then my sealing the deal with wrestling, whether it's my ego because wrestling activated this disease, I still have to freaking wrestle. I still like whatever it is, my passion, my love hate. So my activism and then my wrestling is so vital. All that is so important to me. Or the wrestling, my advocacy. But as for acting, that's always a part of entertainment. That's always a part of what we do anyway. So it's easy to blend in. With my sickness, it's not a top priority at all. What I just listed was, but I've dipped my toe already back into a couple low budget films, and like I just wrapped one with Hornswoggle, and then right before that I did one with Ken Anderson. So a lot of just like different things to get my feet wet, and it's fun. It really is. Yeah. It's just like how I've had to learn to maneuver the wrestling world around my sickness and my health. I've done that on movie sets already, and it is a challenge, but I'm human. I'm ready to play. I'm ready to explore, and acting will always be there.
Yeah. And you mentioned a book, though, earlier. You said you were going to do it, but now have you started writing it, or is this something in the works? You got
Right.
plans for the release? Okay. So where's the book at?
Okay, so the book about the story of my life, wrestling with CRPS, and it would have been published last year if not for my mental health, but also I feel like it's God's timing as opposed to mine. And what I mean by that is I feel like I was rushing it, because where does my book end?
Mhm.
Sure, we can have a part one, a part two. We can have multiple books, but where does my first book to the public to read this very important message I have? Where does it end? And I feel like with what I'm doing this year are the final chapters. And I feel like it's good that I haven't published this yet. But yes, it has. I have a co-author. He's published a lot of wrestlers' books. He's co-writing it with me, and she's been cooking.
Mhm.
And I hope to have her out at the latest this year by November during CRPS Awareness Month, particularly
Okay.
November.
Okay.
But she'll be out when she's ready for sure. But
Mm.
it's wrestling with CRPS is not what you guys would expect. It's not the cliche biography of like the generic wrestler. It's like 9 a.m. I ate egg whites and then I went and trained here and then I went and did this. It's not the cliche wrestling story. It's actually a story about death, and you will explore death and taste death with me as I go through my different traumas of life, whether it was the abuse I faced with the men in my family, or whether it was me drowning in the ocean at the age of 7 and being saved by my godfather, and whether it's me being diagnosed with CRPS and being told the grim news about dying young. And you taste death, and then I coded, and I have actually have technically died, and what I've experienced beyond death and then coming back. I write the whole truth and nothing but the truth throughout my book. So it's so much more, but throughout it, you're wrestling with me.
Yeah.
Throughout it, you're experiencing death, but you're that 18-year-old kid taking a bump.
Yeah.
You're that 21-year-old woman signing your first contract to a major facility that's prepping you for WWE, like shit like that. Like I want you guys to experience the wrestling business in a different way. And I
Mhm.
think I'm touching that with CRPS, wrestling with CRPS.
I think that's another thing that's much needed. So many times it becomes suffocating. I think Martin, Matthew, you would agree, guys, or let me know if you don't. Wrestling can become suffocating sometimes when it's too much wrestle, 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 wrestle. And there is a world that exists outside of it. We often talk about it here on the podcast. And I think that wrestling is a thread for human life. That's it. It's a thread. But the other parts that are attached to it are the interesting parts. And that's obviously something that you have grasped fully now, which is amazing. I mean, how do you see? I was going to ask you about your family, but you kind of touched on that now. Who are some of the vital figures in your life right now that you would consider family? Are they, obviously you said your godfather and stuff like that. And are you close with them still? Do you visit? Do you stay with them? Do you see them often?
Well, I mean, I am a grown woman now, and I'm all about forgiveness, and we are not the same people we were when I was a kid or as a teenager. So I accept forgiveness and different things, but I'm growing a relationship with my parents. But no, I've my almost from the age of 18 to now, I have had no communication with a single family member or anyone I went to church with or anyone I went to school with. Not a single soul has reached out, or nor have I. So they quite literally think wrestling is trash, and
Okay.
they don't understand it. But there is a beauty in maturing, accepting that people can change, and accepting that they're not the same person anymore, setting healthy boundaries. So I have been building a relationship with my parents for sure.
Oh, that's wonderful. But who now in your life are your
So,
figures?
if anyone watching lately, your family is not always blood, and
Mhm.
You
Very
can
true.
make your own family, especially in this wrestling world. Now, don't be naive to think that your love is going to be reciprocated by everyone. The wrestling world is the entertainment business. It's cutthroat. Everyone is, we're in it, like we're getting paid for this. And when money is involved, people get really, really disgusting. So be careful about that, but you can find family members in this business or wherever, the gym community or the training community. So like it's not always just wrestlers, but I have been building a small group of people, and the smaller groups are better than the big fake groups. So um my
Yeah.
family is Nate. He's a wrestler. His name's Nathaniel Parsons, but he goes by like uh evil Nate. But he was there when I first got involved with the business, and he was just another wrestler that was a friend. But when I became homeless, he was the one that, because I chose to become a wrestler,
Mhm.
I was just a kid stranded in the Appalachian Mountains. I had nowhere to go, and one of the local wrestlers came and got me, and it was him. And
Right.
then when I was homeless in LA, he was there, so I wasn't alone. When I was in the wheelchair and I was told God put you in that wheelchair, and I was being mocked and said I wasn't cut out to be a wrestler anyway, Nate was there. And so he quite literally became my brother. Like when my disease spread and my whole body needed to be amputated and I was looking for doctors to amputate me, I couldn't even clean myself. Like if I had to go to the toilet or something, I had to have a bedside toilet. He was the one that had to scoop my body and clean my body and help me so I didn't like go on myself. Like he was a true brother. Like that you just don't find people
True
like
friend.
that are
Yep.
willing to do that.
That's
And
rare. And
yeah, and you like you can rarely find that in a actual sibling, blood sibling, let alone a lover,
yeah,
like a husband, or like he truly became my family and never asked anything in return. So a person that will forever deserve their flowers will be Nathaniel,
Mhm.
and his flowers are coming. Like he sacrificed everything to make sure I didn't die.
Yeah.
And now that I'm getting back into this stuff, and now that I'm getting my flowers in a sense, he's able to focus more on himself now. But he's my brother, he's my family, and then I have my two dogs. That's my
Okay.
family.
Okay. One of the things that strikes me is obviously this is a lot of trauma that you're describing to us for the average person. I mean, this is a lot that you went through already at your age. Do you think, in looking back, now that you've got in hindsight a lot of this, do you think it maybe helped you, or in some ways didn't go down certain paths? Is, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Do you feel positive about it now? I mean, now that the time's elapsed, or are you still,
Um, so it makes a cool story,
yeah.
but I'm just lucky enough to have survived everything, from starvation, exposure to the elements, just the inhumanity I faced, the inhumility, the people, the way that people treated me when I was in the wheelchair, let alone when I was homeless. The physical and mental abuse from other humans that my body has endured, developing CRPS, and then going so long undiagnosed without, we're talking about the most painful pain known to man, and I had no pain pills. Like I had no medical marijuana, I had no escape. How did I raw dog the most painful pain known to mankind without any aid?
Mm,
I'm quite literally, my brain damage, my mental health, enduring this. Did I earn my stripes? Sure. Did I come out like a superhero? Cool. Did I need to go through that? Absolutely not. Does others
right,
need to go the path I went? Fuck no.
right.
So yes, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Yes, we have different mentalities and different mindsets, and we endured and we endured and we had that grit. So I am they
Oh, I
no.
guess.
Did I lose? Did you guys lose me?
Now you're coming back. Oh, there you go. There you go. It
that's
froze
it.
for a little bit. There you go.
Oh no.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay,
Yeah.
so there you go. You're back. You're
Absolutely.
back. You're back. So
Well,
yeah,
that was a serious subject, shit, and I have brain fog. But no, what was I saying?
you were talking about should anyone else have to go through this? Absolutely not. But you know,
I think that be willing to sacrifice, grind, like it's live your life and have fun. Like, don't get me wrong, but also if you want it, go for it and sacrifice for it, like I don't believe in excuses when it comes to that, but then also, did I really have to sleep out of my vehicle in the daytime with no air conditioning and being a young woman exposed to the elements with my windows cracked in the middle of Los Angeles, being afraid of getting like raped and murdered every single day? Did I have to go through that to become a wrestler? Hell no. But I did it. I did it. And did I have to work at a shitty job at Walmart to pay for wrestling school? Oh my God, that was so expensive. I only have enough money for gas now. I have no food money, and go 3 days without food and be starving and still expect to be bodybuilding and do the gruesome training for 3 hours each day in a wrestling ring. I did that, but you shouldn't have to experience hunger. You shouldn't have to experience sun poisoning, but I did that. So, I mean, I wouldn't change it, I guess. Like, I did it. It makes a cool story, but I don't want anyone to have to do that to become a wrestler. Absolutely not.
Right. But you're getting a lot of support here in the channel. In fact, a lot of people are talking about God right here in the comments.
Oh, that is good, guys.
Yeah, I did not expect that, but we did get a super chat, but this is totally off topic from one of our channel members here. So that's part of the deal, Paige. I always bring them up on the screen when they ask questions. So it's just from one of our channel members. He said, I just heard this today that WWE Live put up WrestleMania 6 and left off Roddy Piper versus Bad News Brown, just showing us what they want. So I guess what he's saying there, Mike Blaisley, is that WWE are censoring some of their past stuff. Because I remember that. That was when Roddy Piper painted himself half black. You remember that, Martin? Remember that bodacious one? Yeah.
That's probably why they took it off.
Yeah. They're censoring stuff there. But again, that's why I ordered the DVD. That's why I want the DVD of WrestleMania 6. Paige, do you find
now DVDs?
I tell you, man, you know what? You got to have
DVDs.
the
VHS tapes.
You got to have the VHS. You got to have the DVDs, because one day, my man, I'll tell you, they're going to tell you what you want to see, and they're going to delete what they don't want you to see. So I'm going to have the original. Paige, in terms of originality, in terms of your favorite WWF or WCW time period, if it was that for you, who were some of the inspirations for you? Who did you find the most enjoyable to watch, the most entertaining?
I mean, I liked Warrior. I loved Macho Man. I loved
perfect.
I loved the combo of Miss Elizabeth. I studied that footage of that whole bit with Miss Elizabeth and Hulk Hogan with Macho Man. I loved that shit. And I loved how they brought even realism into it. Like, the louder than life, cracked out characters are bringing realism into their promos as well. I just love that fucking shit.
That's it. It's brilliant.
But if I had to expand that, it would be, of course, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like, that was, I was such a mark for his promo abilities into the Attitude Era, for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely for
sure. But I'm a 90s baby, so like that's a given answer.
Yeah, no, okay. I just like to stress it here so the viewers get to, again, they hear it again. The 90s wrestling was the best, unless you're talking JCW now. Matthew, I'm going to kick it up to you, man. You got anything else you want to throw down?
Yeah, what about female talent? Was there any female talent that you look for inspiration or try to take stuff and use it towards your bag of tricks?
Oh, for sure. A person that I look up to so much, and someone who I idolize. I'll just leave it at that. And I believe in a lot of manifestation, a lot of cool things. But Natalia is for sure someone that I love, and I just think God has a lot of cool ways of. Oh, that's cool. Nice. Did you get her book?
Of course I did.
He met her a few weeks back, right? Or a couple of months ago, but you were down there?
Yeah, she did a book tour.
Yeah, I'm friends with the Hearts. I'm going back in April and all that. So yeah, good.
Nice. One of my closest girlfriends is
Bronwyn Billington. I know who you are. I know you guys talk. I know that.
What? You cut her off, Benacious.
Oh,
You said
sorry. Yeah, Bronwyn Billington.
Yeah,
I
yeah. Bronwyn is one of my closest girlfriends. Like she literally is my family, just like Nate. Like if she was in America more, she'd probably be living with me. You know what I'm saying? Like I get to see her WrestleMania weekend, so I'm really excited about that. But
she got booked too for WrestleCon.
she was gonna be at my table, but unfortunately, she has family. I think it's a wedding. So she'll be going to a wedding in Vegas, and then she'll be going to. I'll have to look at my schedule, but I think I'm doing an appearance at this VIP party, so she'll be with me. So wherever you guys, whatever you see me post, babe, she'll be with me the 2 days that she's there.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I saw her in September here in Montreal with her mother, and
She's the best human in the world. Like seriously, she's helped me through so much, and just originally she reached out to me because of her whole dad story of him and the wheelchair, and then her heart really reached out to my heart because of my experience in the wheelchair and how traumatizing it was. And she is that person. She is that. I call her a princess because she's like a Disney princess in wrestling, and she deserves so many flowers too, and I'm gonna make sure she gets some.
so I'm glad, Natalia, that's a real
Natalia's amazing,
She
and
is.
I'll leave it at that. But like, there's a
I
lot of
got
cool
it.
things for
I
sure.
understand. But did you sign the petition for Bronwyn?
Of course, I share that shit every day too. What the fuck? What kind of question is that?
Well, I don't know. I don't have social media, so I had to ask.
You're best friends with her. Did you sign her
No.
petition by chance? No, bitch. I didn't sign her fucking petition. Yes, I was like the first person to sign it and share
how
it. Did
do
you
I know?
sign it? Did you fucking sign it?
all right,
I'm
Matthew,
hoping-
you've gotten yourself in some
I
trouble
know,
now.
Yeah.
What? Well, anyway, yeah. So
I'm
guys,
hoping if
guys that don't know, that you want to explain it, or do you want me to explain it?
No, you go.
Oh, okay. So, so Bronwyn is trying to petition for her dad to be in the Hall of Fame. So everyone, go find the link and fucking sign it because they deserve that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1000%.
Martin, you got anything here?
No, no, I'm.
You're
You're
good.
just done with me. You're
You're
just
good.
done.
The mate, because again, your character's so unique, and this is probably the only one time you can actually say that a gimmick has been done in wrestling only one time. Because there's never been a ring rat character. Yes, there's been provocative women and stuff like that. But to actually be labeled as this and you run with it is
I love it, and she hasn't been
very,
named.
very impressive.
I love that she hasn't been properly named yet either. Like,
Yeah,
I feel
exactly.
like she's just referred to that, and I feel like there's a lot of fun bits we're about to do. And stay tuned, guys. It's about to get really, really, really fun. But if we did name her though, I've noticed a couple official JCW posts, like whether it's the bosses talking or whether it's the commentators or like the different things that I've noticed the past couple months is they have mentioned Paige, like my shoot name Paige. So if anything, I think I'm gonna like my indie name, the Black Dahlia. That's always my nickname, the Dahlia, the flower. But I feel like I'm actually going to be sticking with my shoot name and in wrestling, and even with the ring rat, I think she'll be Paige. I think I'm going to be Paige.
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds good. Well, I'll tell you what, Paige, it's been an absolute pleasure hosting you here on the live show. Of course, everybody, viewers, I've strongly urged you all to go over and watch JCW every single week. I don't know why you're wasting your time with WWE and AEW. So go over to the hottest thing in sports entertainment right now, which is JCW. If you haven't already done so, smash that subscribe button right here. Like the video, share it. We got tons of videos coming out. You should join and become a channel member, too, for just $4.99 a month. It's the price of a cup of coffee. And you'll get all our goodies in the members-only section videos, too. But from all of us, we want to thank you. Paige, thank you so much. And
you guys are so professional and so kind. I really enjoyed my time here. I definitely will come back. And thank you for talking about JCW and our work. And I appreciate your guys' time. I'm gonna go to the gym.
Okay. All right. Well, you
Just
go
real
to
quick.
Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
Just real quick. Is there anything you want to plug? Have you got any, social media links or anything like that you want to plug?
Yeah, subscribe to my OnlyFans.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Well, okay. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, on that close, students, we will see you on the next one, everybody. God bless.
Bye.
Bye, easy.
God bless. Students, your time has come. I have decided that it's time to share some of my knowledge with you. That's right. Do you want to become a true legendary professional wrestling character? Do you want to learn how to project your voice, to enunciate, to come up with the greatest promos that you possibly could? Then you need to join me each and every week for just $50. I am hosting a masterclass on Zoom. That's right. You don't have to travel. You can do it from the comfort of your own home. I will teach you how to become the greatest character you can be. I will help you discover who you truly are. I will help you with taglines, promos, etc., etc. Join me for just $50 a week in a masterclass of wrestling character development. There's a reason they call us the masters of wrestling.